everyone. We are here in the MPL Management Seminar here with Michele. Hello, Michele. Thank you very much for being here with us today. It's lovely to have you. So tell me a bit more about yourself and how did you started Alvarez?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. Just as a short introduction of myself, I'm a director in the Portfolio Advisory Group in Alvarez and Marsal. It's a group made of around 30 people, 40 people perhaps, based in London, but with also presence in Milan, Athens, Madrid, and we've got a reach across the whole of Europe and globally, Latin America, for example. We've got quite a lot of experience. Me personally, my main geography is Southern Europe. And in terms of industry, of course, we are here in the MPL conference, so that's one of my core areas of expertise. However, as a group, as an individual, we like to see that we are offering a whole set of services to help investors and banks to deal with assets and the liability side. So we're not just on non-performing loans, which is the problematic part of the assets, but also offer solutions with optimizing all of the assets on the balance sheet, like performing loans and other positions.
That sounds like that you're covering a lot of areas. You, as a market leader in this industry, how do you see the current problems of the industry, and what would be the word of advice?
Well, I think there are problems, but there are also lots of opportunities. I started working in this field 10 years ago, and since then the market has evolved a lot. So there's many more positive things today than there were at the time. Like, for example, the market is much more mature. There are operators in the market like real estate advisors, services, us ourselves, which we're all much more sophisticated than the situation was 10 years ago. And that is true for Spain, for Italy, for Greece, where we are at the moment, as well as for the Nordics, the UK, etc. So the market has evolved a lot. Banks are much more solid than they used to be. And so it's in a way that there is an environment that is much more conducive to resolving the next waves of stress that we see forming. So the challenges that we've got at the moment is, of course, with the COVID period. I'm sure the other people I've interviewed have already elaborated on the COVID, on the current macro scenario, on the issues with the cost of living crisis. So all of these things will have an impact. So the stock of problematic loans will grow, definitely for sure. But I'm expecting this to be a much quicker cycle than it was in the previous global financial crisis.
Right. Let's talk about a bit about regulation, which is obviously regulating everyone's life. How do you be sure that your firm is advising on the current regulatory framework for all your clients, and what are the problematic fields that usually you're seeing in your clients?
Well, regulation has a lot of angles. There is banks have got probably stricter rules in terms of regulations. Then you've got the servicers and the buyers of NPL portfolios that have other partially the same issues, and partially some other issues. So it's a topic that encompasses the whole industry. And you're right to say that it's one of the important aspects of this industry, as well as the industry has matured and has evolved and has become more sophisticated. Regulation has as well evolved to make sure that, for example, the borrowers are treated fairly, that there's no abuses in the system, and all these things need to be dealt with. So where perhaps when we started, there wasn't such an encompassing attention to it. Now it's very much part of the day-to-day work. And as an organization, of course, we are very close to the banks, or very close to the investors, which are our clients. But we also have open channels with the regulators, so the various central banks and other pan-European institutions. So we always try to prevent and make sure that ideas or new investment formats that we can come up with have been first discussed and at least in principle agreed with the regulator.
Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is, I like to see, I think I said it earlier, I like to see myself as, and our team as a partner with everybody that has that needs to optimize and deal with the assets and also with the capital structure that they have to deal with. So my ideal clients, and that's the one that I deal with every day, are usually large banks and usually large investment funds. I think I'm happy with the clients I have at the moment, so that's a good thing, I guess.
That's perfect indeed. So tell me, Alvarez and Marsal has any kind of expanding plans in the future? What is on the roadmap for you? Where do we see the company growing in the future?
Well, it has very ambitious growth programs, and perhaps you'd have to ask our CEO where the direction of travel is. But well, it's actually quite transparent. So we're quite fortunate to have a leadership that is quite keen to show us the direction, and we're growing in pretty much all of the markets. So geographically, we're opening offices every month. We're opening new offices, and in terms of service offering, we're also expanding. So, for example, I come from a different team and I'm together with my colleagues that came together. We're building a new market offering that previously Alvarez didn't have, and we see a very open-minded leadership at Alvarez and Marsal, very growth-oriented leadership. And so, we will be very different in a year's time. Maybe we will double in size within 2 or 3 years and continue growing. So yeah, it's quite an ambitious and an interesting project to be part of.
Exciting future indeed. Where do we find you? If someone would like to reach out to you, how to find you?
Well, they can find me 50-60% of my time is in London, where I live, where is my family, my daughter, and that's where I spend most of my time. They can find me also quite often in Athens, and so where I will be spending a lot of time in 2023 and going forward. And occasionally in Sao Paulo, where I also have some relevant experience from the past, and we're also trying to build up that market. So yeah, pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere indeed. So thank you so much, Michele. Thank you very much for your time and looking forward to seeing you in other conferences too.
Thank you very much again.